What's up guys, it's Tom here and Liverpool have won it against all odds in the 100th minute when everybody thought that this game will end in a very disappointing 2-2 draw. Rio and Gonoma, what a story. It's like absolute cinema. It's like the Hollywood scriptwriters wrote this script that Rio and Gonoma came on as a 16-year-old kid to make his Premier League debut. And he scores the winner in the 100th minute like a seasoned 32-year-old striker who has been in the Premier League for 10 years. His finish was so composed, so calm, so ice cold. I have really high hopes for this kid. He is our new star boy, a new superstar in the making, potentially a new legend in the making. I don't want to put too much pressure on this kid. But this kid is maybe the reason why we are not signing Bradley Barcola or Rodrigo, because Liverpool are saying we have Rio and Gonoma. And do you know that he becomes only the second 16-year-old in Premier League history to score a winner? The last player was Wayne Rooney. And if Rio and Gonoma has half of the career of that Wayne Rooney had, then he will be an absolute superstar in the Premier League. But Liverpool have so many issues, both in defense and going forward. We will talk about all of that. But first, I want to sing the praises of Rio and Gonoma. What a moment. And also Dominic Szoboszlai, what a game he had. He played right back and then as an attacking midfielder. And he reminds me of Steven Gerrard so much. He's one of my favorite players at Liverpool and probably my favorite Hungarian player as well, and it's an absolute dream to see him play for Liverpool week in, week out. And more Liverpool fans are waking up to the fact that Dominic Szoboszlai is one of the most important players in this whole Liverpool squad, one of the first names on the team sheet, because at right back he played a fantastic game, like he has played there all his life, and then with substitutions finally he could go to an attacking midfield position. And the dummy that he does before the Rio and Gonoma goal is chef's kiss, absolute thing of beauty by Dominic Szoboszlai. The game intelligence to do that in the 100th minute, hats off to him as well. I mean, Liverpool, what are you doing? How are you this bad when you had a whole half playing against 10 men of Newcastle? It looked like Liverpool were down to 10 men and Newcastle were playing with 11 men, because Newcastle absolutely dominated and outplayed Liverpool for large periods of the game. And this is unacceptable that Liverpool struggled this much against 10 men, and even with in the first half when both teams were equal, Liverpool struggled so much. Liverpool got outplayed for 35 minutes, and then Ryan Gravenberch pops up with his first goal on the Arne Slot, his first goal for 1.5 years, first Premier League goal. Ryan Gravenberch, who scored 0 goals last season, came up with a wondrous goal in the 35th minute. Cody Gakpo passes it to him, he does a dummy and then he shoots from like 28 yards maybe, and it goes into the near post bottom corner. Absolutely laser clinical, laser focused, laser aimed, laser targeted goal. It was such an accurate strike. And just before halftime, the Newcastle fans, of course, were roaring on the players, and that boiled over with Anthony Gordon almost ending Van Dijk's season. It's a disgraceful, disgusting challenge, which is mainly Newcastle's own doing, because the whole frenzy that the Newcastle fans built this game up to be a war, a battle, actually it hindered Newcastle, I think, because it made Anthony Gordon lunge on Van Dijk's ankle and calf and hamstring, calf recklessly. It was a very dangerous tackle and it got a red card after VAR review. By the way, Simon Hooper was absolutely atrocious. He's the referee who didn't give the Luis Diaz goal at Tottenham, which was 73 centimeters onside, and he gave offside. And also he sent Diogo Jota and Curtis Jones off in that game. May Diogo Jota rest in peace, forever Liverpool's number 20. But this referee shouldn't referee in the Premier League. He's so bad, and he was bad for both teams mainly. But in the first half, every time there was contact between two players, it was a Newcastle free kick. It was absolutely ridiculous. But then Liverpool started the second half off in absolutely the perfect way, scoring after just 22 seconds. Hugo Ekitike, Liverpool's new striker, Liverpool's new talisman, scores, and that's his third goal in 3 games. Absolutely clinical. Cody Gakpo passes it to Hugo Ekitike after the ball bubbled in the box, and Ekitike again, ruthless finishing by Liverpool today. Something that we are not really used to. Ekitike hits the post and the ball goes into the bottom corner. Again, Nick Pope had no chance. But then, for some reason, Liverpool didn't really take the game to Newcastle. We should have been more active in possession, passing the ball more calmly in and around the Newcastle press, because even the 2-0 down and the man down, Newcastle pressed all over the pitch, and Liverpool should have been able to play the ball around the press and to get out and to attack Newcastle's backline, but so many times Liverpool gave the ball away. In the first half, Liverpool at one point had 66% pass accuracy, which is way lower than what we expect from Liverpool. Liverpool usually gets between 80 to 85% pass accuracy, and actually I want to check the stats. What was Liverpool's pass accuracy? 83% in the end, but in the first half it was just 77%. Second half was better in terms of passing, 88% pass accuracy. But yeah, one of the big problems Liverpool had is that we completely bypassed the midfield. We were too afraid of Newcastle pressing us in midfield, that we were just hoofing the ball forward, and that's not really Liverpool's game. But Arne Slot and Liverpool were really wary and probably afraid of the Newcastle challenges, and also because the referee was so weak, that didn't help. Still, Liverpool defensively were so bad. Milos Kerkez is a worry defensively, because there was a simple cross by Tino Livramento to the back post, which Newcastle, to be fair to them, smartly targeted the back post, especially Milos Kerkez, who doesn't have the height of other players. And when Frimpong and Kerkez plays, the back post headers will be a problem, because both Frimpong and Kerkez are not the tallest defenders, so it will be a weakness defensively and tactically by Liverpool. The simple aerial height difference between Bruno and Kerkez was there to see, but also Kerkez's defending was not good enough. I'm sorry. I love Kerkez, he's a fellow Hungarian of mine. He was not good enough defensively there. Instead of jumping up and trying to head the ball clear, he ducked under Bruno, who dominated him in the air, and he heads it into the bottom corner. Alisson got a hand to it, but he couldn't keep it out. And that's exactly what Newcastle were looking for, because the whole stadium erupted. At 2-0 down, the Newcastle fans were largely silent in the first 10-15 minutes of the second half, but that goal really gave them hope, and it swung the momentum back to Newcastle. But still, that's no excuse. Liverpool should have kept the ball on the ground, should have passed around the Newcastle midfield, because we had one man more, but it looked like for the large majority of the second half that Newcastle had one man more and not Liverpool. And I'm sure that Arne Slot will not be happy with this. Joelinton and Tonali went off injured in the second half. How ironic, when all week Newcastle fans were saying that Tonali and Joelinton will injure the Liverpool players, and instead they went off injured. But then William Osula came on, their only recognized striker who wants to play for Newcastle, because Isak doesn't want to play for Newcastle. But still, Liverpool in the last 10-15 minutes of normal time in the second half, they were just passing the ball around at the back. I didn't understand why we didn't try to actually score the third goal to kill the game off. And Liverpool were too passive. We relinquished, for the sake of control, we relinquished the opportunity to really go for the throat of Newcastle and to finish the game off. And Liverpool got punished massively. William Osula, after a simple free kick from the halfway line. The Liverpool defense is too high, in my opinion, defending that set piece. And also, if you play high line, then have the balls to stay high and not just start retreating and start running back towards your own goal, because Dan Burn dominated Konate, who had an awful game. This was one of the worst games of Konate in a Liverpool shirt. And is his head in Madrid already? I'm not sure, but he was awful defensively in this one. He made so many mistakes. He was too weak. It was like Van Dijk was defending for two players today, Van Dijk and Konate himself. So Konate needs to really get a grip. I think if we don't sign Marguerite in this transfer window, we are making a major, massive error. Because right now, Konate wouldn't start for Liverpool if we had Marguerite and Van Dijk. They would be the centre-back pairing and Konate would be on the bench. So William Asula, after a bouncing ball, it was bounced by I think Konate being weak in the challenge. Dan Burn dominated him and the bounce ball falls to Asula. Gravenberch can't get there in time and he just toe pokes it past Alisson. And St. James's Park erupted. Alan Shearer was fist pumping the whole Newcastle crowd, absolutely loving it. And I was absolutely devastated because to go 2-0 up and to have a man advantage, you have to see the game out. You can't concede 2 goals. And Liverpool again were 2-0 up and we gave away that lead. 2 games in a row, first 2 game weeks, and Liverpool relinquished the 2-0 lead, and the opposition came back to 2-2 with Bournemouth and Newcastle. Liverpool found a way to win the game still, but that doesn't negate the fact that Liverpool have massive issues defensively. Konate is a worry, Kerkez is a worry defensively, and also Conor Bradley came on for Szoboszlai, and Szoboszlai went up to play number 10, the attacking midfield. But Frimpong being out injured is a worry as well. And Rio Ngumoa and Harvey Elliott came on in the 96th minute, and I was like, come on Rio, just do something magic. He's one of my favorite players at Liverpool. Absolutely love his playing style. He has no fear. He's running at fullbacks all the time in every game. So I'm really loving him. I thought, will he have a chance even today? Because there was like 5 minutes of stoppage time when he came on and he scored the winner. What an absolutely incredible moment. Rio Ngumoa, and I'm sure a lot of Liverpool fans who witnessed this goal will never ever forget this. It's something, this fixture, Newcastle-Liverpool, Liverpool-Newcastle, there is always drama, there are always late winners, there is always an incredible atmosphere. Credit where it's due, the Newcastle United fans really created one of the best atmospheres in Premier League history. And I'm not saying that lightly. This was absolutely amazing game, both from the atmosphere point of view, the storylines, the drama, the script writers really did themselves proud. Absolutely insane game. And Rio Ngumoa wins it after a brilliant passage of play, a really good pattern of play that Liverpool really should have done much more often during the game. So the ball falls to Chiesa, who passes it to Salah, who first time drills a low hard cross across the edge of the box. And Szoboszlai is in the middle of the penalty box and Rio Ngumoa is at the far post. And Szoboszlai, instead of shooting first time, he dummies the ball. And the ball falls to Rio Ngumoa, who is absolutely wide open, unmarked at the back post. And he slots it home into the corner where Nick Pope is coming from, like a seasoned striker. I mean, Salah couldn't have shot that better. It was that good, and Salah is the best player in the Premier League history, in my opinion. And Rio Ngumoa slots it home like a seasoned striker, and he's 16 years old. I can't stress this enough. Imagine when you are 16 years old, you are playing your first Premier League game. You are nervous as hell. And yet he had absolute ice in his veins, absolute ice cold in front of goal. And that's the difference between a player who will make it at this level and maybe a player who will not. Because, for example, Darwin Núñez, how many times have you seen Darwin Núñez sky the shot above the bar when he had the chance like this? Because he wasn't calm enough, wasn't cool enough. He got too overexcited. Rio Ngumoa, on the other hand, no. He is like a 30-year-old striker, not a 16-year-old kid playing his first game in the Premier League. That's how cool, calm, collected, ruthless that finish was by Rio Ngumoa. Honestly, absolute legendary stuff. And long may it continue. Hopefully he will stay at Liverpool for 10 years and bang in so many goals. And hopefully he will become an absolute icon at Liverpool. So far so good. The best Premier League debut that he could have asked for. Coming on as a substitute in the 96th minute and winning the game in the 100th minute. legendary stuff, absolute cinema, as they would say it. So that's it. Liverpool have won their second game in a row in the Premier League with a late winner. But we can't keep doing this. We need to be so much better defensively and so much better on the ball, so much better going forward against Arsenal, who look like one of the best teams in the Premier League at the moment. And now Liverpool have 2 wins from 2 games. Arsenal have 2 wins from 2 games. Bring on the next game on Sunday. Liverpool-Arsenal, cannot wait. But Liverpool need to improve the bottom line, and we need to make some signings. Hopefully Liverpool can sign Alexander Isak after Newcastle, hopefully get a couple of strikers in, because they badly need strikers. They had so many chances today. Had Alexander Isak played for Newcastle today, they would have thrashed Liverpool by 3 or 4 goals. They created so many good chances that the striker would easily, not easily, but ruthlessly convert. But that's it from me today. That's my match reaction and review video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.